Well, we weren't going to do video until I had my studio ready. However, there are some cases that come across my eye holes, and this was one of them where I was like, no, we just need to do a video. It has to happen.
And it's been a
So,
minute. We haven't Chantel's been in Reno land for so long, and we are like, "Okay, we gotta get our shit together over here. Big things are coming. We gotta get it together."
yeah. So we're doing that and I'm really excited. So, if you subscribe to us on YouTube, check us out today. If you don't subscribe to us on YouTube, what are you doing?
Right. And guys, this is the first time you're gonna see me as my true self. I'm back to basics, baby. I went back to brown. So that's a reason in itself.
I know it's actually kind of odd, like looking at us side by side because we're just like both living our brunette life.
Yes.
Look at us go.
Let's go.
Dark and deceitful.
Woo!
Um, yeah, so there's lots of shit going on in the world. Guys, be careful out there. I don't know what else to say other than just watch the stars and your back.
Shit is whack. Like,
Shit is whack.
so before we get into your story,
Mm-hmm.
Mike and I just like dove headfirst into the Handsome Devil series that's on Paramount Plus. And
Yes.
ladies, I have something I need to say. Okay. There are so many tattooed men out there. And I get it. I get the draw. Listen, if you look at my dating history, my
Yeah.
men look like they just came out of prison, but they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I like a rugged, blue collar,
Oh yeah.
bearded, tattooed man.
Right?
What are you doing? We are not like this motherfucker murdered
Yeah.
2 women.
Yeah.
Like, hello?
And on that note, it always amazes me. Like, if you guys are ever bored, look into the like dating websites that they have for prisoners.
I have done this.
Like, why are literal murderers getting more action than the average dude?
It's gotta be like a fucking weird psychological thing. I've really sat with this and I'm like, okay, let me get this straight. This fucking psychopath
Hmm.
murdered 2 beautiful women cold-bloodedly in
Hmm.
some kind of fucking manic, hazy, whatever was happening there,
Right. Yeah.
drug-induced psychosis. I don't
Yeah.
fucking care what it was. A
No.
murderer is a murderer. This man has a GoFundMe of over $100,000. Women
It's
are just
insane.
dropping their fucking bank accounts on this fucking guy. And
It's insane.
I am like, okay, why? So it's got to be a notoriety thing or like,
Hmm.
ooh, like, because if you met this motherfucker on the
Yeah.
streets, are you actually inviting him over? Because I'm not.
Of course not. Of course not. Sometimes I'm like, the psychology behind it, there must be some kind of like, I'm in danger and people like that. It's got to be. It doesn't make sense otherwise.
So do what the rest of us do and like make your husband or boyfriend or partner or girlfriend or whatever you've got going on in your bedroom, put a ghost face mask killer on and get on with it. We're not doing this. We're not fucking giving more. Like, this man's a narcissist, so
Yeah,
you're gonna feed his ego even more? Come on.
I know. I love that you're like, do what the rest of us do.
They're like, "That's just you." I'm like,
I'm like, Ash, that's just you.
as Mike
Oh, so
Myers is
funny.
bobbing in the background.
He's like, hello, Ash. What are we doing? Okay. Well, all that to say, yeah, stay safe out there. Don't be stupid. Guys, you're better than a convict. Like
Right?
let's elevate our standards a little bit. You don't need
Yes.
that. You deserve a good man who isn't in prison.
Right?
I'm just putting it out there.
Easy peasy.
So let's get right into today's story because I am pumped to tell you about
If
this.
I had to hear her all yesterday, this morning, she's like, "I can't wait to tell you. I can't wait to tell you." And I'm like, "The fuck?"
It's so funny because Matt is a quiet soul. And
Yeah.
I love that about him, and it's why we work so well because I am the loudest of souls. And last night, I was like, "I gotta tell you about this case." And then I was like, "No, I'm not gonna tell you about the case. You're gonna listen to it." And he's like, "Okay." And then, like, 5 minutes later, I was like, "No, I'm gonna tell you." And finally, I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna drop this. You're just gonna have to listen." So, let's get right into it. Ash, I want you to think of a time in your life when a single decision that at the time you didn't think twice about later proved to be a pivotal moment that may have altered your life forever. So for me, the one that comes to mind is a story I've told on this podcast before. My daughter was about 2.5, ended up locking herself in a hot car, midsummer day. I had this overwhelming feeling to go check on her. She was supposed to be with my dad. And when I found her in the car, she was hot. Although she was still conscious, the weight of what could have been honestly still haunts me to this day. Sometimes I think about it and like I feel sick because
Mhm.
that one moment where I made the decision to be like, I'm just going to go check on her changed everything.
Yes.
So, what's yours?
So, when I had my daughter, I was only 23, you know?
Hmm.
It took me about 5 weeks to finally leave her home. I was like, "You know what?" Left her with dad. I'm like, "I'm gonna go get my groceries, and I'm gonna pick up a pizza on the way home." And this was my first, like, big outing after giving birth.
Right, right.
So, there's this place back home called the Pita Shack. It is like I try and make a little trip there once in a while because it's just delicious. And I'm there and I'm like, "Oh, I'm going to get that for dinner." So I'm standing there, just gave birth, really nervous about leaving my new baby, but it was fine. She
Yeah,
was with
yeah,
dad, whatever.
yeah.
I'm waiting in line and I'm like, "No,
Mm,
I got to go." I
hmm.
just started getting this feeling where I'm like, "Okay, no, this is your anxiety, maybe a bit of baby blues, just a new mom anxiety, but something was pulling me to leave."
Yeah.
And when I got home, so I left and I show up at home. I'd been gone maybe an hour and a half. My daughter and her father were having a nap. And I pulled up and I'm looking around and I'm like, "Why is the air hazy? What is going
Mm,
on?" Because,
yeah,
it's April. I'm like,
yeah.
"Okay." By the time I walked in with my groceries, all the light fixtures in the ceiling started popping and
Oh,
smoke
God.
started billowing
Yeah,
in. There
yeah.
was a fire and you couldn't see it, but we lived in a duplex at the time and the
Hmm.
neighbor's kid had started a fire. Anyways, they would have died of smoke inhalation had I not shown up when I showed up. And I always go back to that thinking like, what if I was just like, "You know what? They're fine." But
Yeah,
something was like, "Go home."
yeah,
And I
yeah.
I think back to that and like it still causes me anxiety, right?
Of
Our
course,
house
of
burned down,
course.
things
Yeah,
got really crazy, like, it was
yeah.
wild, but, I really do think that had I made a different decision that day, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah. And some of my favorite stories about this, and this is going to sound awful and I'm not being insensitive, but happened on September 11th, 2001. Because
Okay.
there are tons of stories of people who, you know, missed a bus or took a different route and ended up they should have been in the towers and they weren't because they made a
Mhm,
different decision, just a
mhm.
snap decision that normally you would never, it would never have changed the course of your entire life. So today's case balances on a decision made that probably changed the entire outcome of what went down.
Okay.
It's April 15th, 1995 in Houston, Texas. Jennifer Morey is 25 years old. She's this young attorney, driven, disciplined, newly independent, drop dead gorgeous blonde.
Get it, girl.
Like the kind of woman who has her life planned out in quiet, deliberate steps. She had law school behind her. Her career was ahead of her. She lives alone in a gated apartment complex, a place that promised safety. And that was really important to her. She's this beautiful young blonde 25-year-old. She knew, okay, we need to make sure that we set ourselves up so that we're secure and we're safe at all times. And
Yeah.
she did that. And like so many of us, she believes that precautions equal protection. And I am this girl. I'm like, we wash our hands when we come home from anywhere because that is how we're not going to end up with an illness.
I
Like
am
this is,
not this girl.
I know you're not. I know you're not.
You know what? If someone is like, you know what would be cool? I'm like, don't say less. Let's go. I'm all
Like,
in.
I don't
I'm
care.
all in
We're
for
going.
everything always. Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the people who was responsible for keeping Jennifer safe and secure is Brian Wayne Gibson. He's a security guard employed by Pinkerton, contracted to patrol Jennifer's apartment complex.
Okay.
Now, security guards aren't just muscle. People just assume that like they're just these big dudes. As good security, it's your job to know routines, layouts, habits, like who your friends are, etc. You know this. I was at an event last weekend where I had a security detail, which is not a common thing for me. So I don't want anybody to be like, so fancy. This is not common. But sometimes just with my day job, it's necessary. And I learned very quickly I am not good at being secured.
This bitch, she's FaceTime. First of all, she's like, do you want to see my security detail? Girls and guys alike.
Hmm.
Let me tell you.
Hmm.
Chantel was living out some kind of weird fantasy for me because my mind was just like, I really would enjoy that. However,
Not me.
her poor security detail couldn't
Yeah.
fucking keep track of this girl. She's calling me. She's like, look at this. She goes, it's a Value Village boutique, not like a
Uh,
regular value. And I'm like, where's your security? Get inside. What are you doing?
so
This poor
after I
guy.
had called you, I like come around the corner because I had gone out for a smoke, and gone for a little walkabout. I come around the corner and like I need you guys to picture like who you think's a security guard would be. Like a giant man, wide as a truck, like just built, just jacked. He's got his arms crossed. He's standing outside of the venue where we were staying. And I walk up and all he says to me is, please stay where I can see you. And I've got my ciggies and my head down. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'll be more careful. But like, that's their jobs, right? It was his
Mhm.
job to know I smoke and I'm a free spirit. And he's probably going to need to watch me like a toddler because I'm going to be all over the place all night.
Legit.
Like I literally was chasing the Celtic music coming from a bar a couple
She
streets over.
was. She
Yeah.
called
And
me
this guy's just
again
like, oh my God.
without security detail. Like, look at this beautiful man singing in the streets. And I'm like,
Yeah.
can you fucking get inside? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah. So, and being security is knowing like someone's habits and movements because when you know those things, you can predict what comes next. You can predict if something is wrong, if someone is out of place, etc. So, Jennifer felt secure in knowing that there was a good team of people making sure that she stayed safe at home. So, on the night of April 15th, a friend of hers dropped her off at her secure building after a rowdy gals' night out. And we know about these.
I have one coming tomorrow.
Yep, she had had a bit to drink, but Jennifer's a responsible girlie and made sure to get a ride home. She goes in like she always does, locks her door behind her like she did every single night, double checks the windows, goes to bed. It's 4 a.m. Jennifer wakes up initially hazy, but quickly alert as she realizes there's someone in her room.
No,
And not just in her room, on top of her. You know those moments in life where you remember the most random things, like unimportant things, like time just slows down?
I have ADHD. This is my brain all the time.
Jennifer says the first thing she thought was how thick his leg hair was,
That's odd.
which is her and also horrific.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're alone, you live alone, and you wake up to a man on top of you and you're thinking like, get a wax, my friend.
I can't.
So she starts to panic because no shit.
Mm-hmm.
And she feels pressure at her throat. She reaches up, it's pitch dark, and she feels the blade of a long knife. And now, our girl, she's pissed. How dare this Sasquatch come into her home, in her room, and put a knife to her neck? She is certain he's about to rape or kill her or both.
Mm-hmm.
So this girl, she starts fighting and screaming at the top of her lungs. The man speaks for the first time And what he says sends new shivers down her back. He says, "Shut the fuck up, Jennifer."
He knows her.
He knows her. And in that moment, she froze because not only is this someone now who has broke into your home, is
Yeah.
attacking you, but it's someone that knows you by name. But because Jennifer is in the Badass Hall of Fame, she does not shut the fuck up and screams even louder.
Yep.
And I need you, we're going to pause the story for a minute because what I'm about to tell you is going to piss you the fuck off. And we just need to take a little detour from the story to discuss this. It was later reported that Jennifer screamed so loud that she woke all 15 of her floor neighbors up, but not one of them called the police.
You
And it's that
know,
time of the day for Chantal's PSA.
I can't with these fucking people. Like,
Huh.
okay, fair enough. In I, I'm going to say something and
You say it.
you might not like it, but this is,
No.
we're raw, we're real, we're going to just go with it. My neighbors might not initially call 911 or for help if they hear me screaming
Hmm.
because I have a very healthy relationship
You know
that
what? And that's wonderful. However, we're grown-ups. There is a big difference, and maybe there isn't. I mean, people do kinky shit. There's a big difference between a woman being brutally attacked and you getting your
fair.
rocks off.
And you know your neighbors. Like if it's a single girl, fucking call the cops, man.
What and I just want to put this out there because I really want people to think about this. A lot of times what happens is so you hear it and you think someone else probably heard that for sure and
They'll
they'll call
call.
the police.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Guys, what is the worst that's going to happen if you call the police? It's going to be nothing, or it's someone having sex, or and all of a sudden your neighbor's pissed because you ruined their 4 a.m. D&D game. I don't care.
No.
I don't care. Call the police. Because here's the thing. If you call the police and you say, "Hey, I just heard screaming on my floor and I think someone should come check it out." If every single one of your neighbors has already called, they're going to say to you, "Thank you so much for calling. We've gotten quite a few calls about this. Someone is on their way."
100%.
No harm, no foul. You get to go
No.
back to bed and everything's going to be fine. Stop being an idiot. Like, guys, we have to call if we hear people screaming.
Oh,
Anyway,
yes.
anyway. All right, back to our queen. She's fighting and her attacker has had enough. He cuts her from her cheekbone straight down to her throat and then slashes her throat straight across.
Oh,
Jennifer
gosh.
feels the rush of warm blood pouring down her body and she starts to feel herself weaken. She's still trying to fight, but realizing she's quickly losing. At this point, she knows that primarily this monster just wants to rape her.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine, like, I actually had tears when I was reading about this because she got to the point where she was like, "I'm just going to let him do it." Because of
Hmm.
course, she's already put up a fight. No one's coming to save her.
Her
She's
throat is
now
slit.
bleeding. Yes, she's now bleeding out. And so she says she just relaxes her body and just
Hmm.
basically lets him do what he needs to do. But,
Which,
oh,
honestly, that's going to slow your blood pressure right down.
yeah,
And
yeah,
hopefully, you're not going to bleed out. And I know that's
yeah,
crazy because 10 out of 10 fight back, mm, you know, but
absolutely.
at the same time, in a situation like this, I think that was that was intelligent. Like, yes, girl.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Mhm.
Because in her mind, she thought, "Okay, if I just let him do this, maybe he'll leave and then I can get help." But this slime ball can't perform. He can't get it up, which really adds up because this guy's a fucking monster.
Yep.
So now he's really pissed off because a guy on a normal day that's having that problem is pissed. So I
Right?
can't imagine. So he grabs Jennifer by the hair and drags her into her bathroom. Once
Okay.
they get in there, he realizes he's forgotten his knife. So he leaves the bathroom. And when he leaves, Jennifer, pouring blood out of her body, finds the willpower to get up, wedge herself against the bathroom door with her feet pressed flat against the bathtub. Like a warrior, she's wedged her torso up against the door and locks her knees.
Yes, queen.
Right? She grabs a toilet paper roll, the whole roll, and pushes it up against her throat. And in reports, she said, like, it felt like I was holding my head in place. Remember, her throat has been slashed. Yeah.
You're making me uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm
Like, can
upset.
we stop? But can we stop and talk about the resilience of this babe? Like,
Girl,
she, like, I can't even, the strength it would, and not just physical strength, emotional strength
that's
to do what
mental,
she's
man.
doing. I know.
That's
It's
pure
insane.
mental. Like, a mix of adrenaline and, like, just the sheer will to live is so remarkable
Yeah.
to me.
Yes. Some of these details are just absolutely mind blowing. We tell stories all the time, but it's what we think happened because unfortunately, the victim does not survive.
Mhm.
But Jennifer, she makes it out of this. And
This
not
is
only that, but
crazy.
I know she's able to give us all of these details that normally we just wouldn't have. So she's wedged against the bathroom door and she can hear this guy ransacking her apartment. And she says everything goes quiet for a moment and she hears him zip up his pants. And can you imagine, like, this just blows my mind. This woman is bleeding out and she's still aware enough that she hears him zip up his pants.
What a fucking
I know.
gift, because honestly, I don't even like, first of all, he's zipping up his pants because so then you'd be like, okay, so there's hope he might be leaving. But
Yes.
then
Yeah.
you're like, okay, like, is he gonna like run into this door? Is he gonna stab my
Yeah.
head through the door?
Of course.
Like, you'd be so beyond, like, I would just no. Like, I am,
Yeah.
girl, you the
Yeah.
shit.
I know. So Jennifer thinks he's left. She's
Yeah.
not 100% sure, but she's like, I, I'm dying in here. She knows she needs to get to her phone. So it's 1995. Jennifer has a landline. For those youngins listening, those are the phones that are attached to the wall. So she tries to quietly open the bathroom door, but quickly realizes everything is too slippery from the enormous amount of blood she's lost.
Oh,
She tries again and again, but realizes quickly that in the process of her wedging herself against the door, she's actually broken the door and it's jammed.
what?
Jennifer recalls sliding down the door to the floor and laughing because what else do you do?
You're like,
She says, yeah,
I survived
right?
that. Now I've locked myself in here.
Exactly. She
Yeah.
says she's sitting there locked in her bathroom, bleeding out, and she's laughing because she's like, so let me get this straight. God, the universe, I just survived this attack and I'm going to die in my bathroom because I can't open the door. But you know, our Jennifer wasn't done fighting. With the little bit of strength that this goddess had left in her, she pulled herself up and she yanked on that door till it opened. She gets on her hands and knees and crawls out of the bathroom, reaches up to turn on the lights, and click, 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 click. There's no power. She's in pitch dark, but Jennifer knows her house just like you and I do.
Yep.
So she crawls along the floor, finds the wall with the phone, runs her bloody hand up and pulls it off its base, and there's no dial tone. This guy cut her power and cut her phone line.
Now, is the whole building out of power?
No. And it will make more sense in a little bit how this happened.
Because I'm like, what? But also 95. Like, yeah.
But that's not the end of Jennifer because this was a modern gal and she had what was probably one of the very first cell phones. So she crawls over to her purse and grabs the cell phone and goes back to the bathroom because she's like, what if he comes back?
I envision, so in the
Hmm.
90s, my dad had a cell phone.
Did he?
And if you remember Saved by the Bell, the Zach Morris phone, it's literally the size of your
Massive.
head. You pull
Yeah.
on
And
your
it was
antenna.
probably that. Yeah. I remember, like, I'm very sense driven, and I remember the smell of the leather case. Do you remember the leather case where it would, like, there was a
Oh, the
button and you'd
zip.
unbutton
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
My
Yeah.
dad's phone was way too big for a case, bro. Like, it was
You're like, "We did not
It
have
was
a
like,
case."
one of those, like, battery-operated home phones, but you could, like, pull on your
Hilarious.
antenna and yeah.
That's so funny. Well, Jennifer had one. So she crawls to her cell, crawls back to the bathroom, closes the door, and calls 911. And Richard answers. It is Richard's first day on the job.
Okay.
And Richard is an angel sent from heaven. Jennifer says, "Please help me," and explains as calmly as she can what just happened. And our boy Rich is listening and he says, "Okay, you're doing great, Jennifer." She takes as deep a breath as she can. And as she's starting to relax, knowing that someone is coming to help her, she hears bang, bang, bang at her front door. She tells Richard, "Richard, I hear the police." She opens the bathroom door and starts crawling out towards it. And Richard says, "Jennifer, do not open that door. I'm watching the officers headed to you on my screen, and they are not there yet."
Oh, I just got goosebumps.
Mhm.
I can't.
So Jennifer stops and bang, bang, bang again. And a voice calls out, "Jennifer, it's Brian Wayne with security." And Jennifer is relieved. She tells Richard it's security, but Richard, despite it being his first day on the job, says, "Jennifer, unless that's your mom, do not open that door until the police get there. They are 3 minutes away, and then the ambulance and the police will be there and will get you the help that you need." And in the call, you can hear that Jennifer's fading fast. And I imagine that must have been so difficult for her because she's like, "Brian is right outside the door. He can
Uh-huh.
help me."
And that's your security guy. So right away, you don't wanna be
Yes.
alone, you're scared.
And no, she's literally dying.
Oh.
But she listens to Richard. Brian says, "Jennifer, it's security. I need to make sure you're okay. I see blood out here in the hall. I was attacked by a man who jumped off your balcony." So Jennifer's like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "I saw a guy jump from your balcony. I chased him. I got into a fight with him. Like he attacked me too." And as Brian is telling her this story, Angel Richard is like, "One more minute, Jennifer. Just keep that door closed." Jennifer finally hears commotion in the hallway and knows that it's safe to open the door. She is rushed to the hospital where the staff is shocked she's still alive because it turns out the attacker had nicked her jugular vein. They said she was minutes from death. Back at the complex, police are talking to Brian because they're like, "Tell us everything you saw." And he's explaining this incredible, like hero esque story. He says, "I was outside doing patrol when I saw a man leap off of Jennifer's second story balcony." So she was pretty close to the ground. He says he called out to him and the guy just started running. So he chased him to a nearby field and a fight happened, but that he ended up eventually letting the guy go because he had a knife. So police are like, "Damn, what a hero we have here." So they sit Brian down so he can get checked thoroughly by paramedics because he's got some injuries. They start the preliminary investigation in Jennifer's apartment. According to police that investigated her place, this was a bloodbath. There was blood everywhere. Walls, her bed is saturated, the ceiling, the floors, everywhere there is not a spot without blood.
Oh, my lord.
And as they're going through everything, they find a pair of men's underwear and then a glove. And they're bagging this up going like, "We got him. Like whoever this is, we literally have his skivvies. Like we're good."
Mhm.
At the same time, outside, a handful of officers are with Brian and they're like, "Okay, show us everything. Show us where he landed, where you chased him, where the fight happened. Show us everything." And Brian's going around, chest puffed up, and he's like, "This is what happened here. And then I chased him over here." And there's a couple police officers that notice something that gives them pause. The morning dew on the ground is untouched. It hasn't been disturbed whatsoever. If Brian was in a full blown fist knife fight with this perp, it certainly did not happen where he says it did.
Okay.
Because anyone who's walked through the morning dew knows that you can almost see footprints. It's like snow.
Yeah, yeah.
So Brian and the officers head back in out after their walkabout, and investigators found something damning in Jennifer's apartment that blew this case wide open. It was a Pinkerton security ball cap.
Now, before you continue, because I think our listeners are
Mhm.
going to have the same question, and I just want to clarify something. I'm a little confused about so she locked herself in the bathroom. He, I guess, left.
Mhm.
Why is he banging on the door if he had already had access to her apartment? Like, how did he get locked out?
He wasn't locked out. He was putting on a ruse.
Oh, right. Okay.
Because
Sorry.
if he had bursted back in, Jennifer would have known
Yes.
it was him,
Duh.
right? Because
Sorry.
he's trying to make it seem like, "Oh, I just stumbled upon this
He's the
scene."
hero. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, guys. Maybe like
No, it's all
need a
good.
little extra. If I'm the only one that asked that question, I apologize. But maybe
No,
someone
no,
else out
it's
there.
yeah, yeah. So, as you all know, Brian is the problem here. So officers say, "Lift up your shirt, Brian." And he hesitates because as he lifts up his shirt, he is covered all over his belly and chest with scratches
Yeah.
and Jennifer's blood. He had claimed initially that his injuries he got from being the hero of the day were only on his hands. So at this point, they're like, aha, that's interesting. And then here's the real kicker. He's standing there with his shirt up, okay, and police are taking photos. They're like, just hold that right there, sir. We're going to take some photos. And an officer says, hey, Brian, can you pull up your underwear a bit so I can make note of the brand for the report? And Brian's face goes white. Under his breath, he says, I'm not wearing any.
Bam.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Brian Wayne Gibson was found guilty of attempted murder and served 20 years in prison. He was released in 2015. We have to remember this was 1995.
Stop.
Um,
He was released?
well, yeah, he served his 20 years, which I know we have major problems with because the brutality of what he did to Jennifer. And one of the worst parts about, like, it's all bad. Please don't think for a second that I think any of this is positive. What I think upsets me the most is how he was going to cover this up, acting like her hero after doing that to her. It's
So
awful.
the thing is, okay, she survived, but the intent was to kill her. You don't slit someone's throat.
Big time.
So, and then to be able to turn around and put on a whole facade after something so violent and unhinged,
Yep.
20 years? Are you fucking kidding me?
I know. So he is a registered sex offender, which, like you and I know, means fucking nothing. And he is thought to live somewhere in Texas.
So
I know.
I have such a fucking problem with this because, okay,
I
20
know.
years later, do you think that our sweet angel uh, doesn't go to bed every night knowing he's out there somewhere?
Of
Knowing
course.
that this fucking monster did all of this to her and she has to live
Yeah.
with that every day of her fucking life. And we
Mhm.
know, while I'm at it, that violent offenders
Mhm.
reoffend. I don't
Mhm.
give a fuck if it was 20 years.
Yeah. Uh, well, our badass boss bitch Jennifer Morey sued Pinkerton Security 1998 and receives a substantial settlement, which helped her open her own law firm because, get this, Brian had been moved to security at Jennifer's apartment after he had had multiple complaints from other locations where he was working. And instead of the company firing him because he was a liability, they thought, let's put him on night shift at an apartment complex where like nothing's going to go down.
This is fucking crazy to me.
Uh huh. Yeah.
What are you doing? Like, he is a
Right.
fucking security guard. His job
Yeah.
is security.
The first time that a security guard gets a complaint where someone's like, hey, not only did I not feel secure, I felt in danger. You can't be a security guard, honey.
It's not for you.
It's not for you. You got to do something different. That's not for you.
But
Yep. So
also,
they just kept moving him from location to location to location until this shit went down.
this is fucking
Mm-hmm.
crazy, Chantal. This is
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. So uh I thought this was really sweet to close out this episode. Jennifer is still in touch with the 911 operator, Richard, who she credits with saving her life because she would have opened that door. She thought it was the police.
Richard, I love
Angel
you, man.
Richard.
Sweet fucking Richard. Richard, you are the MVP of my world. Look
Right?
at you.
And it's so interesting because I saw in a couple articles that they had interviewed, like, Richard's manager, and the manager was explaining, like, "That's actually not something we teach. That was just his intuition." So that is not, like, something that he would have been taught in his training. He literally was like when she said, "Oh my god, the police are here," he was like, "Whoa, oh, oh, wait, wait. No, they're not."
I
And then to even trust that intuition more, because eventually she was like, "Oh my god, it's my security guard." And he still was like, "Please just wait, please." So, Richard, round of applause for you, my friend,
oh
because
my god.
I believe it too. I think he saved Jennifer's life because I
It
think had Brian got back in there, he would have finished the job.
well, you also have to wonder, it's Richard's first shift. He was there for a reason.
Of course he was. Of course he was. And, like, we had spoken at the top of the episode about moments that, like, changed everything. And she didn't open that door. And something so simple of, like, opening a door could have
Uh-huh.
literally changed this whole story.
What a breath of fresh air because there have been so many times where, dispatchers or first
Uh,
responders, like 911 calls, and you hear it and you're like, "Oh my god, this person is gonna, cause this person to lose their life because they're not doing a good job or they're so
uh-huh.
indifferent," or, whatever. And then there's Richard.
I know. I actually have a case coming up in March that I'm doing that covers a string of terrible 911 operators.
And not to say that we're fucking shitting on 911 operators because
Oh my
that's
god,
the
no.
hardest job, right? You're the first point of contact. However,
Mhm,
if you can't have empathy or
mhm.
keep your wits about you or not be a fucking
Yeah,
asshole,
yeah.
you
And
know?
I will say, I know they are few and far between, and that is not an easy job. Every time I've called 911, I have had wonderful
Mhm.
operators. And, no matter what I'm calling for, it's been really nice to have someone supportive, but they're out there. So,
Yep.
Richard, well done. Thank you for flipping the script for us.
Yes.
And yeah, so that's Jennifer Morey. She is like, I want to get a picture of her
I want a
because what
picture of
a
her, put it on
badass.
my fucking wall and be like, "If she could get out of that, I'm gonna get out of some bullshit that I'm gonna get myself
Right?
into."
Honestly though, like, I almost want to I might actually get my daughter to listen to this episode.
Yeah,
Like, I promise you, you can do that exam because Jennifer Morey did this.
right?
You got this shit. Like, we're
Yeah, you can
stronger
get out
than
of
we
bed for
think.
school, you're gonna be okay,
Yeah,
like,
you're
fuck.
gonna be fine. I know, I know. So, thank you so much for listening to this incredible tale. And if you haven't filled out our survey, please fill out our survey. If you don't follow us on YouTube, please follow us on YouTube. And we will see you all on Tuesday.
Tuesday. Bye.
Bye.